Now, England need a point from their final group game to ensure their place in the last 16. They play China tomorrow in Adelaide. And we can head back there live now to talk to our reporter, Gail Davis. Morning again, Gail. So a pretty big game tomorrow for England, isn't it?
Yeah, very good morning to you. Good evening from over here. And I've got Luke Edwards alongside me for the Telegraph. We're going to talk about just how big a game it is, but I'm really glad that you're in one piece, because you were a shell of a man in the press box, weren't you, on Friday night after watching Keira Walsh go down, and suddenly it felt like England's life had flashed before you, and this World Cup was definitely not going to plan.
I mean, I've done this job quite a long time now, and I've never quite known an atmosphere like that in a press box. I think we all knew that Keira Walsh was England's best player, the most important player, the kind of midfield metronome, as it were. She makes them tick. And because they'd lost so many key players as well in the build-up to the tournament, to then lose their midfield playmaker, it felt awful, really. So, first of all, congratulations for them to getting through that game, to get the 1-0 win. But they're not quite through yet. And I have to say, we were talking before we came on, they're on quite dangerous territory going into this China game. Yeah,
because they have to get at least a point. And we have seen in this World Cup, I mean, we're just hearing Japan 2-0 up on Spain. You look at what happened to Germany last night. It's slightly worrying times. As you put it so well, Sarina Wiegman is going to have her work cut out this week. This is where she earns her big bucks, you said to me.
Yeah, that's how I put it. I mean, we talked about her being the best manager in the world, and I think she probably is the best female manager in the women's international game. She's got a wonderful record, but if you compare this tournament to last summer at the Euros, where it was all plain sailing, could play the same starting 11 every game, she knew exactly what you're doing, everybody knew their roles. She's going to have to experiment a little bit now. But this is where she earns you money. Yeah. And look, I think she'll come up with a plan. And I know you're going to ask me who I think is going to replace Keira Walsh in the side, but I think she'll tinker with the plan a little bit.
I mean, she's irreplaceable, isn't she, as a like-for-like? So you just have to look at a different way of doing things. And on Friday night, Georgia Stanway moved further back, a little bit deeper. And then we had Laura Coombs, which is an amazing World Cup story, isn't it? 8 years in the international wilderness, World Cup debut at 32 years old. Given they've only had 2 training sessions, do you think Sarina might just go with that tomorrow night and hope that will be enough against China?
I think that will be her thinking, yes. I think she'll go with hoping it's enough to get past China. And then, all being well, if they top the group, they have a week. Yeah. And then I would expect them to tinker with things, to work on things in the training. You can't replace Keira Walsh. So my argument has been, ever since it happened, don't try. Yeah. Don't try and get someone, an inferior player, to try and do the role that Keira Walsh does. So I think she'll just go with what Laura Coombs offered when she came on. That was obviously the first draft, plan B. Yeah. I suspect she'll be rewriting several drafts in the days ahead.
We know she loves the scenario, doesn't she? She does plan for everything. But the other options, and I guess she isn't a like-for-like, but Katie Zelem would come into the thinking, possibly Jordan Nobbs. And also, how happy are you, Stanway, playing in that deeper role? Because she sometimes, as the last player back, has to make that defensive tackle, and that's maybe not the biggest strength in her game, and she's on a yellow card as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, on a yellow card, high risk. I did wonder, with my conspiracy hat on, whether if it had been a more comfortable outing against Denmark, whether Georgia might have taken a tactical yellow card, actually, just so that she missed the final group games if they're already qualified. They haven't got that luxury. They can't do that. No, I'm not particularly happy with Stanway there. She's more of a box-to-box player. We saw with that wonderful goal she scored against Spain in the quarterfinals of the Euros. I would like to see her further up the pitch, but I think they're just going to try and get through. But it is really, really dangerous. A 1-0 defeat to China and then any sort of victory for Denmark, and England are out.
What about Zelem and Nobbs? Do you think that they may come into it if England can get past China tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
You should trust them, because that's the thing with Sarina. She doesn't make changes, and even if she does make changes, they tend to be the same changes. She'll point to the fact she's got 22 players in her squad, because Walsh is there but obviously not playing, but we don't really see her just give away caps. So she's not really tried anything since the Euros last year.
I just think we have to go with the first sight. Then we saw Laura Coombs come off the bench. Now Sarina Wiegman will have crisis management. She would have planned, as you say. She would have had a strategy. If we lose Walsh, what do we do mid-game? She might tinker with the system now. I mean, there are options.
Yeah.
She could just play a really deep holding midfielder, and she can let Lucy Bronze and Rachel Daly-Bomb forward at fullback. She could even drop Lucy Bronze into midfield. There are other options there, but I just think the quick turnaround.
Let's come away from the doom and gloom, because Lauren James, on her first World Cup start, she just looks so special, and it was almost as she had the ball was at her feet, you knew what she was going to do. And anybody who's watched Chelsea this season has done it before, and that was quite a way to make your mark on your first World Cup start.
Well, we always knew if England were going to do well at this World Cup, the new generation had to step up, and she is the kind of talisman of the new generation. I think Serena kept her out the first game, let her get used to the tournament, get used to the feel of it, and then she's unleashed her on the world stage. Now look, someone like Lauren James will have to do big things, but as I said before, you can't write off a team that's got Lucy Bronze in it. She needs one more trophy to complete football. It's just the World Cup left.
Football.
To complete football. It's the one trophy left. Millie Bright, they are warriors in there, and they will scrap. And look, if they have to win 1-0, if they have to do it the ugly way.
Well, Lucy said it.
Yeah.
She said she'll win every game 1-0. She has to.
And I think that's almost the strategy now. I think they know that they can't be at their free-flowing best. I think they're going to have to be a little bit cagey. And you talk about Katie Zellum, she's a dead ball specialist as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be another sort of strand to Serena's thinking. But look, they do have options, and I think we have been doom and gloom. But they've got Mary Earps, the best goalkeeper in the world. They've got Lauren James coming into the team. They've got Lucy Bronze. Alex Greenwood, I think, was excellent at centre back.
She did very
playing
well.
Out from the back.
Much better. She looked much more comfortable, and in fact, Millie Bright looked more comfortable as well, didn't she, in that central defence position?
And if they can get through the group, we're into knockout rounds. And how many teams have won tournaments ugly? We say it all the time. You look, even Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia in the group stage.
Yeah.
You look at Italy winning the Euros in the men's football I'm talking about. They do it ugly. England have got the ability to do that. I just don't think they're going to do it sort of steamrolling sides like we saw last year.
And just finally, coming back to that, the selection, Rachel Daly, I think a lot of people desperately wanted to see her up front, didn't they, in this tournament? Bearing in mind she's the top scorer in the WSL. But you have to get your best players on the pitch.
Yeah.
And if it seems, when you are missing so much experience, did Serena have to do that to make sure she had as much quality she could by pulling her back to left back, which she played all summer last year?
I think she did, yeah. And I spoke to Rachel Daly in the mix zone after the Haiti game, and she wasn't happy. As you would expect a senior pro who'd played every game of the Euros last summer not to be happy. And that's what she said. Of course I'm not happy. I think she would prefer to play at centre forward. Alessia Russo's struggling for goals. That is England's problem. They're not scoring goals.
Yeah.
And that's where you really begin to see why Beth Mead is a miss, because the top goal scorer from the tournament last year.
Or why you want Georgia further up the pitch.
Or you want Georgia further up the pitch. So let's just see. They've done it ugly so far, but they've got the job done.
OK, well, we are off actually now, aren't we, to go and see Serena Wiegmann, to put some of those questions to her, which I'm sure she'll
Can I just interrupt? Sorry, Gail. Just a little bit of romance into proceedings. It's my wedding anniversary tomorrow, so Kirsty, thank you for marrying me. Love you lots, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, all right, go on. Off you go. Go and get those questions ready for Serena Wiegmann, and we will bring you the best bits of that press conference a little bit later on. And we're also hoping to speak to Georgia Stanway as well, so I'm sure she'll be fielding plenty of questions about where she prefers to be playing. I imagine if you're her, though, you just want to be out there on the pitch for England, hoping to get a result against China tomorrow evening here in Adelaide.
Nice one. Thank you, Gail, and congratulations, Kirsty.